Yeah, I think Drew's biggest attribute is his arm, man. I think he's made some insane throws. The times that we've played together. He has all the talent in the world. He can run with the ball. He can do it all. It's just he's been through some things with previous things in Denver, and he's been working through that. And I think he has all the opportunity, all the talent in the world to get it done and be that franchise guy.
Noah Fant, former and now current teammate of Drew Lock, two players who were part of the Russell Wilson trade package. And what a shock. A guy who catches passes for a living is sucking up to the guy who may throw him the passes. And we have seen some good things from Drew Lock in the past. We just haven't seen it often enough. That's why he's not the quarterback of the Broncos. That's why he didn't win the starting job last year over Teddy Bridgewater. Consistency has been one of the biggest challenges for Drew Lock. And now the Seahawks, for now, are hoping that Lock can unlock, no pun intended, because if I would have intended it, it would have been very lame, some new level of performance with his new team.
Yeah, he does have talent. We know that. You said it right. I mean, you see attributes, size, athleticism, their arm, like Noah Fant was talking about, to where you go, that's starting quarterback caliber stuff. But, as we've discussed before, it hasn't been consistent. And not only not consistent, but I think, in a lot of games there's just been it's just a little too free and relaxed to where you just go, well, yes, it's not consistent. And also there's a play or two in every game where you scratch your head and go, what the heck was that? Why did he do that? So that's what it is, a little scary. But by all accounts, I do think from people I hear in the NFL and connected to Seattle, there's real or belief with Drew Lock up in Seattle that they think he can be something. But I still go back.
Is that real? Is that real, or is that posturing?
I think it's posturing in case they get stuck with him, right? And he has to be that they've sent out good signals and good vibes there. That to me would be my take. I think there's a hope. We see some potential, but I think they're probably letting out some strong comments to let it filter out that there's confidence in case they get stuck with this guy and he is the starting quarterback. But I still come back to, the Seahawks and competition, and we compete every day, and we're Pete Carroll, and even the team meeting, we're going to shoot baskets to see who shoots. I just feel like Baker Mayfield will end up there. I do. I mean, to me, it's definitely one of the spots that I look at. Also, to your spot that I'm going to, this is where you're on a roll with pasta and meatballs lately, where I keep going to the Detroit Lions too. That's another one where I just look at and go, wait, it's Jared Goff, and Baker Mayfield's better than him. I know that for sure. And
Buddy Boy's there.
Right, yeah, and Buddy Boy's there, and the attitude, and like you've talked about from the start, that makes sense too, just as far as Dan Campbell meshing with Baker Mayfield. So that's interesting with Seattle and the whole Baker Mayfield situation.
John Dorsey currently explaining to Dan Campbell what efficacy is as we speak, trying to make the case for Baker Mayfield. I'd take Baker Mayfield over Jared Goff in a heartbeat. I kind of got off the Lions train with Mayfield and jumped on the Steelers because that's an even better story.
Yeah.
But, in Seattle, they got to have a plan. They got to have a plan. And I just can't imagine Drew Lock is the plan. And so we'll see how it all plays out. Do you think they'll just have somebody else and they'll throw it open to a competition? We're getting close to the point where we are going to start getting a feel for where the true quarterback competitions will be. Locke was in one last year in Denver, a true down-to-the-wire competition. Could that be what it is? Locke and someone else who isn't high-end, walk through the door as the starter that they get, some veteran they get, somebody they trade for, somebody who just shows up, and it's Locke and that guy competing to be the starter.
I don't think that's crazy. I would imagine that it goes that way, almost no matter what. One, it being Seattle, they always emphasize competition. Two, they're not going to want to just make it look like Drew Lock was handed the keys to the car, or the shiny new car, and go, wait, the guy he hasn't driven a car yet. So they're going to want to make it look like he earned it. I think even if they brought a Baker Mayfield in there, it's going to be competition, and they're going to let it go, even though they might favor a Baker Mayfield in the competition. But, yes, I expect something like that up in Seattle because, Drew Lock's not done enough to just anoint him as starting quarterback of your franchise yet.
At some point, I think we need to go team by team. Once we have a better idea who the quarterbacks are, where the competitions are, because there are the real competitions and then the phony competitions where it's a rookie versus a veteran and we know who they want to win the competition, right? Like last year, as Pete points out, Trevor Lawrence and Gardner Minshew in a full-blown competition down to the wire as that pro football genius Urban Meyer was trying to create a trade market for Gardner Minshew and ultimately got, what did he get, a 6th-round pick?
Believe so.
For Gardner Minshew?
Right.
Should have gotten a lot more than that for Gardner Minshew. Isn't it funny we don't hear his name at all? Couldn't he be? He played at Washington State. Shouldn't the Seahawks be trying to trade for him?
It's not a bad thought. It's not. But if I'm Philadelphia, I'm not letting him go for, anything cheap. He's a really valuable backup. And a guy that's shown like doesn't need reps. He's crazy enough to where he can just be like, wait, I'm holding the clipboard. What, coach? I got to go in, put my helmet on. Oh, this is awesome. And make some crazy jokes and worry about his mustache. And he's not even affected by the situation. So he has real value as a backup there. That's where, and of course, they have a running quarterback. So I certainly wouldn't trade him unless you really got something that you go, I can't turn that down.
Well, we'll know the Eagles are ready to trade Gardner Minshew when they announce that there's a quarterback competition between Minshew and Jalen Hurts. That is the signal. And wouldn't it be something if the Eagles just flat out flip the guy, that they give up a 6 if that's what it was? I can't remember.
Sure
I just remember it being far less than it should have been, and they get more from a team like the Seattle Seahawks for Gardner Minshew. If I'm the Seahawks, I'm very interested in bringing Gardner Minshew home, because look at it this way. What's your drawing card? Why are people showing up to watch your games this year? Russell Wilson's gone. What's the thing that gets people excited about your team? We're bringing Gardner Minshew home to Washington. I don't know where he grew up, but he played Washington State. There's value in that from the standpoint of getting people excited about your games. If I'm a Seahawks fan, I'm far more excited about Gardner Minshew than I am about Drew Lock.
Yeah, I hear you there. Yeah, he's
from Mississippi.
He's a folk hero up there, regardless. They love him up there. That's where he became Gardner Minshew. So, yeah, even though he's from Mississippi, that doesn't matter. And to your point, Seattle, they're already, flirting with that a little bit because they got Jacob Eason up there who's from Washington, and it's the same type of thing. But, of course, Jacob Eason's not Gardner Minshew. Gardner Minshew can play ball. He can. He's a low-level starter, awesome backup in the NFL, and I don't think your thought's crazy, Mike. I don't. I just don't think Philadelphia is going to let him go very easily.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.